Welcome into Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh. With me is Justin Bowerly, and we are here to give you your priority waiver wire show of the week, heading into week 3. Justin, how you been, my dude?
Good. It's been so long since I've last talked to you. 6 days? Not even.
We text way more than I ever thought we would,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Good content going on between us. But if you're new to the show, this is a weekly podcast we do every Tuesdays at noon. We give you our priority waiver wires along with the news and injury notes. And then, of course, Wednesday nights tomorrow, we give you our starts and sits on this network at the Finstock Sports Network. If you're listening to us on iTunes audio, please come to our YouTube page at Finstock Sports Network. If you love social media and you're on it all day, X, Twitter, follow us at Josh Kimmel OUS, at Justin Bowerly in the show at OUSFF. If you want direct contact with us, the best way to do it is join our Discord. The Discord link is in the description below. It's going to be in the iTunes podcast link and, of course, on YouTube as well. Now that is over with, did I forget anything?
No.
Crushed it. We're going to get into the news and notes of the week. Some injuries, a lot of injuries, tons of injuries this week. Too many injuries. Too many. And I guess let's start with the big one, the one that happened last night. Nick Chubb, his season is over. If you saw it, you only needed to see it once. I did not see it. I have only seen a screenshot of it, and I don't want to see the video. All you people posting that crap online suck.
I haven't seen the actual screenshot of it. I was doing the dual video on YouTube TV last night, watching both games, but I was paying attention to the Carolina game. They were both boring before I went to bed, but all I saw was Chubb on the ground. I'm like, oh no, did Chubb get hurt? And didn't actually see any of the replays or anything. So maybe I shouldn't.
Don't watch it. You texted me, is Chubb getting carted off the field? And at that time, I was too busy trying to get my son to sleep. And I turned it on and I saw Chubb was out. And quick story on that. We will get to the waivers. And of course, Jerome Ford will be discussed on this podcast. But going into Monday night, this is a quick tip for all of you people. And I'm in so many leagues and I don't see people doing this. I just see me and Davey doing it. And we've been doing it since day one. If you have someone to drop that's already played, like a Zach Charbonnet or someone that we were going to speak with, we are going, Matt Breeder, Jerome Ford. We will talk about that in about 5 to 10 minutes, Bobby. We'll give you our information on that, but I'm leaning towards one rather than the other. Hint, it's probably Jerome Ford. But I will say this: make sure you get your handcuff on Monday nights, as in this. Davey picked up Chuba Hubbard last night. Didn't need him, but picked him up because he was a free agent. You never know what's going to happen to Miles Sanders. I decided to back as a super flex, so I picked up Jameis Winston because I have Derek Carr. I was looking at Jerome Ford, and I'm thinking, who else can I drop to secure this backup? And it's not because I predicted an injury or knew something was going to happen, but this avoids the rush to the waiver wire because if you have someone like I had Zach Charbonnet to drop, I had other players, other bums to drop that just didn't perform Sunday that I would not need going forward. Make sure you do that, guys, because that will eliminate so many problems going into Tuesday morning, Wednesday night, that situation. So go ahead and do that on Mondays if you can, and Sunday nights as well. All right. That injury sucks. He's out for the season. Unfortunately, they will go forward. We don't know if they're going to sign someone else or if they just run with Jerome Ford.
It's not quite known yet. Stefanski believes he will be out for the season based off just what is happening. No official word what the injury is, what the actual timeline is, but the expectation is that Nick Chubb will be out, which is tough. That's a top 3 running back in fantasy football in the league in general. So that's going to be pretty tough for Cleveland.
You hate to see it. Other injuries, a little bit minor. Odell Beckham, ankle. He's day-to-day. Coach doesn't believe it's serious. Darnell Mooney left the game in the first half against the Bucs. Knee, day-to-day. Not that you were starting him anyway. David Montgomery, thigh issue. Length of time is unknown right now. This is a huge one. Gigantic for Detroit in your fantasy team because he was being used way more than Jahmyr Gibbs. Interesting to see what they're going to do, if they're going to roll with their backup running back and Jahmyr Gibbs or just Jahmyr Gibbs. That's it. Anthony Richardson concussion. It's been concussion city, by the way. We're about to go through 4 of them. Anthony Richardson concussion day to day. Devontae Adams was evaluated after the game for concussion. Jalen Waddle left the game with a concussion. And Logan Thomas, of course, that dirty ass hit, left the game, concussion. monitor all those situations. That's all we can do. I don't think that any of them are going to play. If they do, to what extent? That's just something we have to monitor.
You usually don't know until today. Players that have been okay going into the weekend come into Tuesday and then they end up not practicing all week and miss the game on Sunday. But then players that you think are going to miss end up playing. So it's a weird timeline for a concussion, and we won't really know until probably Thursday.
That's true on those guys. So make sure you have your backups ready. Salvin Ahmed left the game with a growing. Again, you're not starting him, but it's good news for Raheem. It's like everyone's falling except for the old man Mostert. He's the only one left standing, and he will be there forever.
The 31-year-old back. It makes me feel like I can play in the NFL still.
Chase Edmonds, knee. You weren't starting him either, but can lead to Sean Tucker, who is not on this list yet, but will be on this list. I'm going to guess in about 3 to 4 weeks, we'll be talking about Sean Tucker and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the two last big ones, Deontay Johnson was put on IR. He'll be out 4 weeks for that hamstring. We saw last night George Pickens went nuts. Allen Robinson was kind of a non-factor. Calvin Austin was kind of a non-factor. It seems like it's George Pickens or nothing.
George Pickens solely won me a game last night.
He solely lost me a game last night. Like, solely lost me. I went to bed thinking, oh, yeah, I'm good. Kenny Pickett's doing nothing. I'm good to go. I wake up and I'm like, I lost by 2 points. Cool.
You got me in our matchup in the Finstock League because of whatever player you had playing. Olave.
Beast Olave.
Yeah. Whatever.
And probably the biggest one besides Chubb, Saquon Barkley, ankle, out 2 to 3 weeks. We already had a question in the chat. Matt Breida or Jerome Ford. Let's just get into it now, because a lot of people are going to be asking this question. A lot of people are going to be wondering, do I go with Jerome Ford? Do they pick someone else up? Do they sign Kareem Hunt? Do they sign Leonard Fournette? Right? There's a lot of guys out there that could be signed. Whereas in the situation with Saquon, you expect him to be back, and Matt Breida is just a spot start. So let's go into our top priority waivers of the week. I'm going to start with number 1, Kyren Williams. The Rams, they're going against Cincinnati this week. I bring him up. He's rostered 62% in Yahoo leagues. He needs to be 100. He's a starting running back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he's the only running back for the Rams at this moment. I mean, they completely healthy scratch for Cam Akers. Don't believe in him. They're throwing him on the trade block. I would be shocked if they run any other running backs at this point. Anyone that's going to actually get significant snaps at least.
Kyren is. I mean, it's simple. It's simple stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but he is only rostered in 62% of your leagues, especially in the Yahoo format. I guarantee he'll go up to 100% after this week. Just check your it's worth it to check your waiver wire. You know, last week I checked my waivers in one of my home leagues and I saw Gabe Davis on the bench for free. And I'm like, he's better than these other guys out there. And I started Gabe Davis and won a week because of it. But go ahead and check those. You never know with these people and what they think. Number 2, same situation. Puka Nacua, the sensation, the guy who's taken over the league again for the Rams, 77% rostered. Now that's a lot. I get it. But just go check. Maybe you're one of the few leagues that nobody picked him up in. Maybe. I doubt it. Worth a shot. More on Puka on this one. 25 catches, 266 yards on 35 targets. 35
That's so much.
targets.
This is why I'm a little nervous about what his target share is going to be when Cooper Kupp comes back, but maybe that doesn't really affect the offense and Matt Stafford found his new guy. Maybe Puka is the league winner this year.
He is. And I want to ask you a question on this because I know 2-2 is in our little worth a look thing, but it's I want to compare the two real quick. So people are like, oh, 2-2 is just a cheaper version of Puka. He's still going to get his targets. He's had 17 targets in 2 games, not quite the 35 of Puka. People are like, hey, when Kupp comes back, is Puka going to take a step back? And I want to get your thoughts on that. Is Puka taking a step back, or is 2-2 taking a step back? Because I believe that's the one that's taking a step back.
2-2 is going to be the guy that's going to lose all of his targets. He's going to, maybe not all, he'll get a couple, but it's not going to be 7 or 8 a game like he's getting currently right now.
It's
He's going to
not.
be the guy that's going to hurt the most. Puka's going to get his targets. He's the number one target in LA right now.
He's the
And
number one target in football.
yeah, second behind Tyreek.
Well, he's a freak, so I get
Yeah.
that. But the thing is with Tutu is you're right. He's the guy who's filling in for a spot that's neglected, whereas Puka's going to take over
Mhm.
that number 2 role. And people are like, well, Josh, is it going to be enough for both?
Yeah.
And I say yes, because Puka or Tutu is showing that he can be a top receiver. Puka's not going to be the top guy. Cup is going to be that guy. But hey, why can't Puka be top 13, top 14 going forward? He can do that. We've seen it with Tyreek and Waddle. We've seen it with Chase and Higgins. We've seen it with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen back in the day. This is we've seen it with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith last year. It's very common for 2 receivers to be finished in the top 12, and Puka's great start is going to get him there. Just want to see some touchdowns. No touchdowns on the year yet. That's a concern for me. No red zone. He's not a priority in the red zone, unfortunately. The next guy on my list is Matt Breida. He's plays for the Giants. Obviously, he backs up Saquon Barkley. He is rostered in 2% of your leagues. He's definitely out there somewhere. My question to you is, do you want to start him?
I think he's worth picking up. I think he's worth starting if you have no other option. If you have Saquon Barkley as your only starter, really. I don't think he's worth starting if you have other options.
Matt
That
Breida's
offense
20.
just isn't moving. That's the problem. Is
It moved in the fourth quarter. But I will say this: he's 28 years old, hasn't had more than 60 carries since 2019 in the season. His next 4 opponents, because we are looking at a timetable of 2 to 3 weeks for Saquon. I'm going to put it at 4, just to be safe. He's at San Francisco Thursday night. Right off the rip, you don't want to start him against San Francisco on Thursday night. There's no chance I'm starting him. First Seattle. That's a green. That's a go. You can start him there. At Miami, Miami had one good game. Miami had one bad game against the run. I'm not saying the Ramondre game was good. I guess I was average. So start him there possibly. And then at Buffalo. I don't know if at Buffalo they're going to be down. I'm sure they will be. Not a plus matchup for Matt Breida. I'm kind of avoiding Matt Breida. I'm hoping someone else spins the fab on Matt Breida. But you're right. If he's free, if he's cheap enough, go ahead and throw $5 to $6 on him. Hopefully you get him. But his outlook going forward doesn't look ideal with the matchups he has in front of him.
yeah, and then if you look past those matchups, Saquon's back, so he's not worth going out of your way unless you have Saquon Barkley on your team.
But if you have Saquon Barkley on your team, what's the difference between getting Jerome Ford?
Oh, well, okay, there you go. Get Jerome Ford then.
So I'm saying, because then you can have 2 starting quarterbacks going forward. But the only problem with Jerome Ford is we don't know if they are working out maybe today it broke. I haven't really seen anything today, but like I said, Kareem Hunt's out there, but I think he's washed. Leonard Fournette's out there. I believe he's still going to play football this year somewhere. Has to be. Have we thought about this? Jonathan Taylor get traded to the Browns? Question mark.
I've heard Browns. I've heard Rams this week. It's nothing new. It's a 1-year rental until you get Chubb back anyway. But
look,
who knows?
Jonathan Taylor is going to play football this year.
He is.
We just don't know where.
Right.
It could be Cleveland. It could be Los Angeles. So
could
Kyron
be Indianapolis.
Williams. So what we're trying to say, it could be Indianapolis. So what we're trying to say is, because Zach Moss is the next guy on our list, be wary of these pickups because they could be replaced just like that.
All 3 of the running backs on our must-have list right now are running backs that next week
could be nothing.
Could be absolutely nothing and get you 0 points for the rest of the season. So,
but
if you're
0-2 and you're staring 0-3 right in the face because you lost Saquon or you lost Eckler or you lost these guys are must-go gets. Zach Moss was a perfect running back for that. He was running back 10 last week. He's still available. How many leagues? How many leagues do you think he's still available in? He's still available, and he's only rostered in 53%. So 47% of you guys decided, no, we're not going to get Zach Moss. We've seen him play football. He's not good. Well, he crushed it for Indianapolis. I wonder if it's going to change a little bit. They do have Baltimore this week. Then they go Carolina, then Tennessee. ideal matchups. Not against Baltimore, but the other two are. But at that point, we're expecting Jonathan Taylor to come back. And Jonathan Taylor is going to be a menace. I think he plays this year for the Colts. I don't think he gets traded. Zach Moss is a buy, but expect him to be kind of useless in about 2 to 3 weeks. And I would spend. So if you had to rank these running backs 1 through 3, Zach Moss, Jerome Ford, and Matt Breida, how are you ranking them, and how much fab are you putting on each one?
Ford, Moss, Breida. Ford is going to be your starter for the rest of the season. Cleveland really liked him in camp. And in fact, they liked him so much that they thought he would probably be closer to a Chubb Hunt situation. I don't think they're going to steer away and go get a veteran. And even if they do get a veteran, I think that veteran's still going to be the RB2 behind Jerome Ford. I liked him so much in camp. I got him in 3 different leagues in drafts this year. Couldn't get him in all the leagues, unfortunately, because some guys just beat me to him. But I really like Jerome Ford's situation in Cleveland right now.
He looked explosive last night. The way he turned. Did you see the play where he was going right, then all of a sudden he would cut left and almost scored a touchdown? Tackled at the 1. He's very explosive.
Electric.
So I've been to the Senior Bowl one time to cover it with Josh Wingate. You can find us on Monday nights on Beer and Sports Podcast every single night. Monday night live. By the way, just want to plug that because I know Josh gets mad at me when I don't. But we went to the Senior Bowl, and one of the players that stood out to me, besides the players that stood out to me, were Khalil Shakir, Trey McBride, and Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford was my favorite running back, and Dameon Pierce was there. But Jerome Ford looked better, in my opinion. I think Jerome Ford was the best running back in the Senior Bowl that year. He looked explosive, fast, quick, and you saw it all last night. Mm-hmm. The only thing is he going to be strong enough? Is he going to make it through the whole season? Because he did look a little small, smaller than Chubb, of course. Chubb's a man. Chubb's a beast. Ford's really not that kind of player, but they need another running back. And you're right. If they bring a veteran in, is he going to take – are we going to look at a 50-50 split between Ford and the veteran? Or are we going to look at 60-40 split? Are we going to look at someone like Ramondre and Zeke where they just split carries? One series is Ramondre, the other series is Zeke. That's the only thing I'm afraid of. So when you do blow all your fab on Ford, because I feel like he will be the number 1 waiver wire ad this week, just be wary that this team will be looking for another running back to replace him. Chubb, that is, not Ford. By the way, I put $92 on Ford in one league.
I put some money on him today.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
Mine was not $90-something, but I did put some money on him today.
I'm going home run, all you can eat, grand slam, eggs and bacon. Let's get it done. I need a running back in the worst way. So and I'm 0-2. I'm 0-2. So that kind of looks. If you're 0-2 and you need a win, I feel like he's the best chance to get you that win. He does go against Tennessee, which can be run on. So let's move over to the middle tier of our waiver wire, the guys that are worth a look. Is that worth a look or worth a stash? I am so bad. Worth a look.
Worth a look.
Worth a look. And there's only 3 we're going to talk about because we already talked about Tutu. He's definitely worth a look. The next guy is the tight end position. Hunter Henry. Tight end 2 on the season, right behind Hockenson. 16.9 points per game in PPR formats. He's going against the New York Jets, the 7th easiest against the tight end. Only Zach Ertz and TJ Hockenson have more targets than this guy. Hunter Henry is a force to be reckoned with. He is a touchdown machine. He is Mac Jones' favorite target. I think he's worth an ad, worth a look. Look, the tight end position you're streaming anyway, unless you have Kelsey, Hockenson, Andrews. Are you looking at Hunter Henry going forward as a top 5 tight end?
That's the question. I mean, last week we said he's worth a stash, so get him onto your roster if you can. Now we're saying, this might be a guy. Like, this might actually be a guy in this league. Last week, I don't know. I even said, I think we all agreed that Hunter Henry probably has 1 or 2 good games, and then he never follows up a good game with another good game, but he's done it twice this year. I think that offense behind Bill O'Brien is really focusing on those tight ends a lot more than Matt Patricia did last year with Mac Jones. So right now, Hunter Henry has shown that he is Mac Jones's target, and He
Yes,
might
not
be a starting tight end. He might be a top 5.
he is. He already matched his touchdown production from last year. He had 2 all of last year. This year he already has 2. Remember in 2021 he had 9 touchdowns. So he does score touchdowns. He has a nose for the end zone. Let's see if they can put it all together.
Yeah.
Rostered in 55% of leagues, so worth a look to go find out. These next 2 receivers are play for the same team. They're both under 10% rostered in your fantasy leagues. And I'm talking about Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, remember him? And Tank Dell. Both can be had. Robert Woods, 9% rostered, and Tank Dell, 5% rostered. They both play Jacksonville, of course. I didn't put Nico Collins on this list because he's 62% rostered, and I believe people are already on him, so that's not much of a must add. I mean, people already have him. But Robert Woods and the upside of Tank Dell, give me your opinion on these guys, because one's a safety net guy, one's a guy that's always going to get targets on third downs especially, and one's just a shot in the dark. Let's make something happen with a rookie.
And I watched both of them very closely this last weekend. Robert Woods, yeah, he's the safe bet. He's gonna get you your targets, like you said. But Tank Dell is electric. He can actually make plays after catching the ball and just dominate. I mean, 20 points last week is no joke. Paired him with Nico Collins, who got 20 plus points. That's a lot from one offensive unit. I mean, we're looking at what 55 plus points between 3 wide receivers for the Houston Texans, who are 0-2. They're going to be behind. They're going to need to throw the ball. Dameon Pierce isn't going to be getting a lot of touches because they're going to be behind. I would be looking at Tank Dell over Robert Woods. He's more electric. He's faster. He's just a beast.
So Robert Woods has 3 red zone targets this season. The rest of the team combined has 2. I'm just saying. I know it's early on. I know it's early on, and Tank Dell's going to take some time to develop. And Nico Collins, of course, rookie quarterback coming in. CJ Stroud led the league in passing yards last week, which was phenomenal. I'm glad to see it. I'd love to see it actually. So funny, in 2 games, he looks more developed than Justin Fields looks in 27, 28 games. Isn't it crazy? Like it's night and day. I was talking to someone about Justin Fields versus these rookies now, and I would take Bryce. I would take Anthony Richardson. I would take CJ Stroud easily all over Fields in real life. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal. It's unreal how one player just sucks so bad. That's it. That's all I had to get out. I
It
had to
also,
get that out there.
yeah, no, I get it. It also sucks their situations because guys like Bryce Young, who is on a Frank Reich offense, who still won't give up play calling. It's almost like another team learned this for 5 years. This is a bad idea, but so that is going to suck for Bryce Young, that he is on a terrible offensively coached team. CJ Stroud, however, he's doing pretty well. If you could mix CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson together, that would be like the perfect quarterback.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so much fun to watch.
So good.
That'd be so much fun to watch. But yes, Robert Woods, Tank Dell, those are both worth a look. I believe Tank Dell in casual leagues, you can get him for $0 to $1. Robert Woods will be free. He'll be $0 because nobody will believe in him. And if you need someone to give you 10 points, he's averaging 13.1 points per game. Like if you need someone to give you a quick 10, just someone with no upside but a really, really high floor, that's your guy. Robert Woods is going to be the safety net going forward. Now, these are the last part of the waiver wire ads. These are the worth a stash. There's 3 of them this week. One of them is a wide receiver who's on my league of record, Jaden Reed, wide receiver for the Packers. He had 2 touchdowns. He had a monster game. He's rostered in 10% of your leagues. Get Jaden Reed on your team. He only played 55% of the snaps so far, going this whole season. But I do want to add this. From week 1 to week 2, not a huge jump. He went from 53% of snaps played to 56%. But their second receiver, because Christian Watson's out and Dobbs is the one, Wick, number 13. I about had enough of this guy. Every time I watch Jordan Love throw the ball, it's to 13. And I'm like, oh, is that Reed? No, it's Wick. Wick went from week 1, 62% snaps played to 50% last week. So we are seeing him go down, and we're seeing Jaden Reed go up, which that's what you want to see in fantasy football. You want to see the projections go up, whereas someone like Wick go down. My only concern is Christian Watson comes back. Reed's value kind of just stays flat. He's
Mhm.
not going to be the guy. He had 2 red zone targets. He's a guy that Jordan Love feels comfortable with, but we don't know what's going to happen when Christian Watson comes back. That's why he's worth a stash. I would take him if you have a deep bench. Again, he's going to cost
Yeah.
you money because he scored 2 touchdowns, but he's worth a stash. He's worth the $5 you're going to spend.
It's interesting he's only rostered in 10% of leagues because he's rostered in 100% of the leagues I'm in, and I can't even go get him anymore because people are stashing him.
Yeah, I didn't draft him, but I definitely picked him up right after the draft. Because no, I did draft him because it's a keeper league, and I want to make sure I can keep him. So that's why I have him in that league. 2 quarterbacks I want to talk about, worth a look. Sam Howell and Gardner Minshew. Minshew for the obvious reasons. Anthony Richardson may not play, and then Gardner Minshew will step in. And he's been a competent quarterback his entire career. I believe he should be. Imagine starting Desmond Ritter over Gardner Minshew. Just imagine that. It's unreal that this man does not have a starting job. You might not be a fan of him. You might think he's a gimmick, but no, he's a real NFL quarterback, and he deserves some damn respect. He came in and had a great. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because you're a Colts fan. I think he had a great game. I think he had a great performance coming in.
He had a good managed. I mean, 11 points for fantasy is not a lot, but they also gave Zach Moss the ball a lot after Anthony Richardson went out because that was the running target. He played 3 quarters, did very well, still won the game. I mean, he took over and it was 14-0 already. So you're already playing up 2 touchdowns when you finally come into the game. He is a very smart quarterback. He doesn't turn over the ball a lot. So he is definitely somebody you should definitely be looking at if Anthony Richardson is not going to play. This is like Breida. If you have Anthony Richardson, you probably should have Gardner Minshew.
Yep, I agree. We have a question in the chat, a trade question from Isaiah Alexis. Travis Kelce and Tyler Algier for Mark Andrews and Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Walker. Feels Kenneth Gainwell, like nah. Anyway, Kenneth Walker. I'm getting Andrews and Walker. I had Chubb also. This is very easy for me because I'm taking Mark Andrews and Kenneth Walker because they're both starters first off. Where Tyler Algier, I do love him. I do love his opportunities. But Dave said it best last week on this show. Algier will get your 15 carries. He will get you the touches. But if he doesn't score touchdowns, he's not worth rostering. He's not worth starting that week. Whereas Kenneth Walker will get the goal line carries. We're seeing it. He's getting the number 1 work. It's not even close. It's not even. We thought Zach Charbonnet drafted in the second round would be something. He's only had 31 snaps his entire NFL career in 2 games. Kenneth Walker, the overreaction of, oh, they drafted Charbonnet, he's taking over. Dead in the water. Kenneth Walker is their guy. And Mark Andrews is going to get you the same amount of, maybe Kelsey's obviously going to be number 1, but Mark Andrews is a great number 2 at tight end. He will find his fitting with Lamar. The only problem I see is they do have Zay Flowers, who they love to feed, and they have other options, whereas Kelsey is that number 1 threat. But the Kenneth Gainwell, or
Kenneth Walker.
That guy is in my freaking nightmares. I'm such a Swift guy. Kenneth Walker is definitely far and above over Algier just because of the security.
Yeah.
Because Bijan Robinson will get the goal line carries. He will get the touches, the meaningful touches over Algier every day of the week. I do it. I do that. I would take Andrews and Walker.
I would 100% do that.
Not Gainwell, though. Gainwell's awful.
Get rid of Gainwell.
Gainwell's the worst. Sam Howell, the Commanders. Quarterback 11 and quarterback 14 for week 1 and week 2. He plays Buffalo. He's at Philadelphia. He's worth a stash if you need a quarterback. If you're in 2 quarterback leagues, he should already be rostered. Sam Howell is only rostered right now in 20% of leagues. He's someone that's on the rise. We're seeing that offense work. They're doing some work. Brian Robinson's doing some awesome work. They're getting the ball out to McLaurin. Dotson's been kind of quieter than we wanted him to be, but McLaurin's still doing okay. Just if you have room, if you lost Anthony Richardson, Sam Howell's going to be free. And I would take Sam Howell over Gardner Minshew.
Because Sam Howell is also going to give you starting material for the rest of the season as well. Gardner Minshew's not necessarily going to. I would definitely take Sam Howell over Gardner Minshew. If you're playing in a super flex, Sam Howell's probably gone. He should be. I'm starting him in a super flex. He's doing well and winning me games. If you're playing a 1 quarterback league, he's definitely sitting in waivers right now.
and
So
he's flirting with a quarterback one. Like I said, quarterback 11 week 1, 14 week 2.
mhm,
That offense is only going to get better and improve week after week after week.
especially with Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, so here are some players to watch. Whether you should drop them, keep them. Man, this is a tough week for these guys. Damian Pierce, my number one guy on this list. He is rostered in 97% of leagues as he should. Keep stashing him, but man, I don't know if you can start this guy. I really don't understand. I told you guys in the beginning, don't draft this guy. I told you guys he's an avoid for me in the running back dead zone. Don't touch him. 2.7 yards per carry, only 6 targets on the season, which you need those targets to be relevant in fantasy football. Running back 43 right now, 6.1 yards or 6.1 points per game. He's just not going to be in positive game scripts. Not.
No,
But
they're
again,
going to be playing behind a lot. That's the thing. So the Texans are going to be throwing the ball. They're going to want Stroud to be making plays because that's the rookie that they need to develop. Damian Pierce is not going to be that guy.
but he's definitely, you can't drop him. If you maybe the guy who lost Chubb or the guy who lost Saquon, try to package him with another decent player and try to upgrade because Damian Pierce just is not it. What's up, Smokey the Cat? What's up, guys? PPR trade Bijan for JJ. Have Jacobs, Gibbs, Kyron, Ford, Warren. If you can flip Bijan for JJ, do it now. Do it today. Do it yesterday. Do it every day of the week. Justin Jefferson's the best player in the world, especially if you have Jacobs, Gibbs, Kyron. Yes, Jacobs is scary. At one point, I think he had like 6 carries for -8 yards. I get it. But Josh Jacobs is going to be the guy in that offense, and he's going to get the touches. Volume is king. They will not be. He's not a Damian Pierce where they're going to play from behind every single game. David Montgomery's missing time, so Gibbs should get an up boost. We already spoke about Kyron. You have Ford. Jalen Warren is going to take over that job. Dude, get Justin Jefferson on your team for Bijan easily.
It's no question at all. Like
awesome.
How
Dude,
is this a trade offer?
No, his team is going to be stacked. I don't know if it's an offer. Maybe he's thinking he could do it. If you could do it, do it.
If you can do that, if you can find the guy that is willing to part ways with wide receiver 1 for Bijan, when you have, do that. Do it.
All right, these next 2 guys on my list for this players to watch, Cam Akers and Khalil Herbert. Both of them. I'm just going to pair them together. I think you should check back next week. Keep them on your bench. But if you have someone you want to add, I'm okay with you getting rid of them. Cam Akers was a healthy scratch. The team doesn't like him. They haven't liked him in a year now. He will maybe get traded. Maybe he goes to Cleveland. Maybe he goes somewhere. That's why I'm saying just check back in next week. If he's not used, if you're not hearing any rumors, it's okay to drop him. If you need to drop him for a guy we already spoke about, I'm fine with that. Khalil Herbert, on the other hand, man, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. Running back 33 right now, 9.1 yards point or not 9.1 points per game. But Roshan leads the targets, and that's what Khalil Herbert was supposed to do, get targets. But Roshan Johnson has the targets. So Justin, explain to me what's going on.
Disappointment, man. The entire Chicago Bears offense is just a giant disappointment this season, man.
Joker, we'll get to you in a minute, okay? Joker, we'll get right to you in a minute, but I want Justin to have a funeral for Khalil Herbert because we were both on this guy. I think you were a little bit higher than me.
Listen, Khalil Herbert is dead. He's just dead. I can't start him in any league I have him in. He is my most rostered player in all of my leagues, all 11 leagues. I have Khalil Herbert 7 times. I can't even get rid of him. I can't trade him for anything because he's dead. It's so sad.
Well, okay, hold on. We got a question. Joker, this actually goes into Joker's question.
My soapbox.
Who to drop for Jerome Ford? Full PPR. Khalil Herbert, yes. Tyler Algier, no. Madison, no, or none. Also have Chig, but I'm dropping him for Kirk Cousins since I have Fields. Okay, yes. Those are all great things. Get Kirk Cousins on your team, but keep Fields because of the upside, of course. Drop Chig because he's totally irrelevant. You want to keep Madison because he is still the starter there. He still has value. He's the standalone starter until Ty Chandler says so. Let's be honest. Ty Chandler should be on this list of players to watch. But until further notice, Madison is still the guy there. Algier will get you 15 to 16 touches a game. You hope he scores a touchdown. It's hard to drop him. Khalil Herbert, we just pretty much said dead. I would take Jerome Ford all day, every day.
Correct.
for that situation easily. 16-team league. Those are your running backs. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Here's this full roster. It looks like.
Oh, let's flex on them. This is
Woo.
what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna start flexing on people with these rosters. Fields, Raheem Mostert, Chase, Calvin Ridley, Hunter Henry, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Bass. We don't play kickers. Ravens defense. We don't play defenses. Yeah, your team's good. Your team's great.
Yeah.
I would just easily
Oh,
get rid of
Herbert's
Khalil
on your
Herbert.
bench too. Yeah, get rid of Herbert. Get Ford on your roster right now because Ford could be starting at this point. It looks like you're only playing one running back. It's Raheem Mostert.
And Roshan's going to be taking over very, very soon.
Yeah.
As we all know. Okay, these are the last three. These are must drops. All the guys I'm telling you right now, there's only three. Drop today, drop yesterday. Antonio Gibson, Washington Commanders. He's still rostered in 71% of leagues. This guy is beyond dead. He's a zombie. He's only had 5 attempts all season, rushing attempts. He's only had 4 targets all season. He fumbled in the week 1, and he hasn't seen the field pretty much all season. Brian Robinson has officially taken over as a starter. The Antonio Gibson, Memphis wide receiver converting to running back is over. I guess the whole 36 rushing attempts in college was real. As we all said, it wasn't a real thing. He's not the next CMC. Drop Antonio Gibson. He's just a roster clogger. Hopefully someone else still believes in him. Thank you, Joker. You got nothing to add for Antonio Gibson?
I have nothing. I'm dropping him. I hate him. He's the worst. He's fooled me for the very last time. He's more dead to me than Khalil Herbert is. He's gone. Goodbye.
Hey, thanks, Joker.
Again.
Joker, we're here on Wednesday nights as well. We're here every single Tuesday. For all you new viewers, we're here every single Tuesday at noon to give you the priority waiver show. And then on Wednesday nights, tomorrow night, we give you our starts and sits of the week. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. So stay tuned for that as well. We're almost at 1K, man. We're so close.
977.
Share with your friends.
977.
Share with your friends. Let's get to 1,000.
All 23 of them. Let's get
yeah. We just need 23 friends. That's it. I have 20. I have 2 friends. Sure, if we all have 2 friends, we can all get there. Zach Charbonnet, we spoke about him earlier. He's just a backup, 62% rostered. He shouldn't be. He's not getting the opportunities. He's not getting the snaps. He's not seeing the field. DJ Dallas is seeing the field more than Zach Charbonnet. He's an easy cut for me. Easy. I cut him already on all my teams. I rostered him. I drafted him. I had high hopes for the second round rookie. It's done. It's done for this season at least until Kenneth Walker goes down.
So is he dead to you also?
He's 1,000%.
These are guys that are dead to us, right?
Yeah. Dead.
That's where we're at. We need to rename this segment to, instead of must drops, to these guys are dead.
At your funeral. We're attending a funeral right now. And the last one on my list that is dead. Oh. Drop him. I dropped him. I screenshot it. I already put it on Twitter. Kyle Pitts, dead. You can go ahead and drop him for Hunter Henry right now, and you will win leagues because Kyle Pitts is not going to give you anything more than 4 points a game. Look, 16% target share. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing because when your target share, when you only throw the ball 10 times and 2 of them go to you, it's a 20% target share, but it means nothing. This guy, Kyle Pitts, the dream is over until he's on a new team, until he's on a competent throwing offense. And I'm not saying Atlanta's not competent. I think they're awesome. I think they're a good football team. But as far as passing the ball, Desmond Ridder can't get it done, and that they don't scheme an offense to get him involved enough. Kyle Pitts is an easy drop. You're wasting your time. You're wasting energy thinking about him. You're giving yourself headaches every single Sunday when you're like, throw him the ball. Jonnu Smith has the same amount of catches as Kyle Pitts, and they're on the same team, and they play the same position. Kyle Pitts easily. Don't feel bad if you drop him. I don't care when you drafted him, where you drafted him. The draft is over. That's in the past. You need to look forward, and you need to figure out there's many, many, many tight ends out there that can help you win, and he's not one of them.
No, get rid of him where you can. If you can trade him, but
you can't trade him. One last question. Which should be more important waiver, Ford or Cousins? Ford, because you have Justin Fields. Justin Fields, even in a bad game, can still get you 12 points because of his rushing upside. That's not great. I'm just saying in a bad game. Whereas Kirk Cousins, he's more of a luxury. A backup quarterback. In a 16-team league, you might need a backup because most of them will be rostered. but Ford will be my number one because he has the most value to win you a league. Who wins you leagues? Undrafted running backs you get off waivers. That's a fact. That happens every year. Look at Rashad Penny a couple years ago, went nuts for the Seahawks. I mean, it happens year after year after year. So
Josh, this
Ford
is
my
why
guy.
I went 0 running back for drafts. I'm telling you.
Would you trade away CD Lamb for Kamara and Kyron Williams? Heck no. Last we saw Kamara, he was a shell of himself. We don't know if he's going to gel with this offense. He's not the same guy since Breeze left. And Kyron Williams can easily be replaced. We've seen the Rams cycle running backs in. Hell, we saw last season Cam Akers was traded, benched, disciplined. And then end of the year, he came back and was playing like nothing happened. So that can easily happen again.
Yeah.
That's why. And CD Lamb is a staple in that offense. I don't like trading top 10 guys for 2 lesser guys. And we can't look at Kamara as the same way as we looked at him back in 2018, 19. We need to look at him at 2023. And I might even take Kyron Williams over Kamara. That's all. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, but it depends on his running back situation. What if he lost Chubb and he lost Saquon? I need more context, Chaka.
Don't even know his name.
I know look, I'm not good at pronouncing names, but I just got a cue from I guess Justin, my producer. We have to get out of here. We're gonna go ahead and close out the show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at OUSFF. Make sure you join our Discord, which is in the link. You can get direct contact with us immediately in the Discord channel. We're going to be posting our weekly DFS contest there. I slacked last week, but we did get a full 50 people participating, so that was awesome. We want more of that, more participation. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Kimball OUS. Follow at Justin Barrelly. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. with our starts and sits of the week. It's going to be a good one. We even might have Dirtbag Dave on the show. Who knows? Until then,
special guest Dirtbag Dave.
Special guest. I call him Brock Lesnar, part-time Dirtbag Dave. But until then,